I was impressed you didn't push the
exhaust button.
The exhaust button.
I wanted to. I really wanted to. It sounded good on the cold start.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We'll see when you get back.
All right, thanks. So here we are at Nemacolin, getting ready to go into the off-road section here. Nemacolin Woodlands Resort in western Pennsylvania is a 400-plus acre full amenity resort with 2 golf courses, 3 lodging options, an airstrip, and multiple other amenities for guests. Nemacolin invited me out to check out their offerings, and I was specifically interested in their Jeep off-road course. Thus, Jeep sent me this 2024 Wrangler Rubicon 392 Final Edition for the trip. The Parks is Nemacolin's activities center with multiple swimming pools for all ages, a climbing wall, a daycare center, a restaurant, a bar, and a lot more. It's where you borrow bicycles to tour the property and where the Jeep off-road adventure starts. Nothing says America like a Jeep, and Nemacolin is the classic American resort. Therefore, Nemacolin has a fleet of late-model Jeep Wranglers that they have purchased directly from a local Jeep dealership that you use on this off-road experience. In the past, they have used gasoline-powered Hummers, though since Hummer stopped offering consumer vehicles, they changed to Jeeps. And it does not appear that they're going to change back or to another brand anytime soon. While you could bring your own 4x4, you must sign off on a wide variety of releases. And why would you when they have these great new Jeeps for you to use? First, you do an extensive training course, fording streams, climbing over rocks, and driving at intense angles, much as you would if you were out off-roading in the wilderness somewhere. Once you pass that test, then you're taken out onto the 88 miles of off-road trails that Nemacolin Woodlands Resort has on property. The cost of Nemacolin's off-road experience is between $130 and $500. Nemacolin's Jeep experience is available to overnight guests and members of the resort.
How's it going, guys? My name's Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And we just got out of the woods with our 2022 Jeep Rubicon here. We went out, showed off everything that it's capable of, all of its aftermarket features.
And what are you going to do next? You're going to take this and show me what the capabilities of this?
Yeah. So first thing I'm going to do is just put it into 4-low.
Okay.
We'll be in 4-low the entire time while we're out on the trails. For the most part, I like to keep mine in drive, or you can put it manual third gear. But to crawl over these rocks, one of the nice things that Jeep has is you can put it into first gear. And the best thing about first gear is I don't have a foot on the gas or the brake. It's just going to crawl right over these rocks.
So it's going to just sort of do it by itself.
Yep, it's just idle speed is enough with it being in first gear and 4-low to just crawl right over it.
So this course here is a small course, right?
Yes.
So this is your training course.
Correct.
This is not the end all and be all.
No.
Okay.
This is just here to really get people familiar with the Jeeps and understand what they can do.
Okay.
This section in front of us here is like our ground clearance section. It just shows what we can drive over. This rock right out in front of us is 8 inches high. The mound after it's 12. And why the rock is in the middle is it shows that our differentials will clear it. And whenever you drive over this part, try to have the rock in the middle of the Jeep.
Okay. Yes.
I kind of think of it in between these 2 vents. And then this ledge straight out in front of us is 16 inches high. We can drive straight over it, but how we make it feel a little bit smoother and easier for the Jeep is we just hit it at an angle. So I'm gonna have my front left tire get close to that yellow dot on the left.
And that's a pretty big...
It is a big step up. And why we like to hit it at an angle is only one tire has to climb it at a time instead of 2. And I'm just gonna ease up to it. Once I bump into it, I'll lightly touch the gas just to easily.
And you're still in first and 4-low and
just drive.
Drive, yeah, okay.
You can put it in specific gears. This is something that Ethan and I differ on. He's always told me third gear.
Talk about what is that? What is the mindset? Your mindset is versus his mindset.
So my mindset on it is basically in third gear, it's going to limit any sort of road drivers that you would have, or
Okay.
anybody that would hit a bump a little hard and hit that gas too hard.
Okay.
It limits your top speed to around 10 to 13 miles per hour, which is still a little too quick for the trails, but I prefer it over the risk of them getting past that point.
And your?
I completely agree with that. I put people into third gear once I am concerned with them.
Okay.
Same thought process. Just he's more preemptive about it.
Okay.
This is another rock crawl section. I also like to put it in first gear here, but these rocks are a little bit bigger than those, so there might be a spot or two where you'll have to use a little bit of gas. But it still just crawls right over.
Mm-hmm. You just basically let the machine, the computers and everything else
Correct.
do a lot of the work.
Mm-hmm.
So do you get any of the guys with the old school Jeeps that there's no nannies in them, that, and then you train them on that, or do you guys weren't even around when when there weren't any nannies in vehicles?
Very rarely do people bring older Jeeps here. I just think it's the clientele that we have at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's always brand new. So this section is going to go up, down, and back up. This first ridge just shows that we have a short wheelbase, so we don't get high centered or scrape the underneath on that steep ridge. There's a steep valley in between that shows we have good approach and departure angles.
Yeah, thank God for the cameras.
Oh, it's not going to be the camera. This shows you the angles that we can achieve.
Oh, we're going to off-road paintings. Get nannies.
Yep. And when I'm driving over this, the main thing is I don't want to stop on the uphills. So I'm holding steady on the gas until I crest over. I'm going to use a little bit of brake until I level out down in the bottom. And there shows the good approach angles. Then I'm going to get back on the gas and just hold the gas all the way to the top. And then this is the side slope. One of the big things with the side slope is a lot of people love to cut the wheel to the left. If you could just
keep it
slightly, but mostly straight. You see it gets up to 25 on our screen.
Saying no matter how many times I drive that section, being in the back seat, it still feels weird going over that side slope.
So this is our water fording section. It's about 20 inches deep at the moment, but this Jeep can take up to 34 inches of water moving at 5 miles an hour. We just haven't had much rain to fill this up.
So this is naturally filled up with water.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you don't pump water in here.
No.
Oh, look, there's a dragonfly out there.
You can hear it hitting the bottom. We're
Yeah.
still fine.
Oh, get out of there, little toad. Little frog. Don't run over the frogs.
You went to the left. Pretty much just turn it around and then we'll get it lined up. And then it's your turn.
So what's the other Ford, just in case you have two trucks at the same time?
We don't really use the other one much. They're identical.
Yeah, okay.
They're the same thing.
So, but if you did have two
Yeah.
people at the same time, you could.
It's your turn to drive.
Oh, you mean I get to drive now?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
great.
driving right off the bat.
Okay.
So
All right, so we're already in 4 low.
Yep, so you don't have to shift that.
Okay, how far are we? That seems to be pretty decent. Okay, so, and they're going to go on and do something else, or we don't have to worry about them?
They're heading over to the trails now.
Okay.
So, whenever you're ready.
I don't need the glass one. So it's dead center here, right?
Correct. And this is one thing that a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people go more left than what they need to be.
Well, sometimes people, have you seen people drive on the road? They don't know where the center of the road is.
And then once you feel the rear tires get up on, you start heading over to that yellow dot.
Okay, that yellow dot.
Correct.
Do I go up on that or not?
No, you don't have to. And once you get nice and close to it, front left to that yellow.
Okay.
So we're still climbing up to the high side, it's just at an angle.
Okay.
And then just kind of put your wheel straight.
Okay, and just. Okay, it's doing it on its own. Okay, great.
And then once your rear tires get up on, you can kind of straighten out to it. And then we're gonna head towards this rock crawl.
So do you change this little course at all, or has it sort of been set up and?
So it does change. It actually just recently changed with the addition of the volleyball court and the ice rink being there.
Okay.
So we moved our rock crawls around a little bit. This rock crawl is actually a little bit bigger than the one we had previously.
Okay.
So it showcases a little bit more of that technical gearing in the Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that we're missing currently is, we call it the rollers. It just demonstrates how the axle lockers work.
Right.
But we're getting new bearings put in the rollers themselves.
So we go through here nice and smoothly. Hopefully we don't upset the frogs.
One thing I'll say about the frogs, it's the only, in our trails, it's the only place where I see when frogs get scared, they jump out of the water instead of in.
Yeah, well they know when they know you're coming through.
So again, with this,
So what was happening here? Did somebody get stuck and dig something out, or?
It's like a bypass. Like if people don't want to go this way, they go that way.
So we just go up.
Don't stop on the uphill.
Don't stop on the up. And then just tap of the brake.
A little bit.
Over to the left a little bit. Don't tap on the uphill. Just let it go.
A little bit more.
Okay, and do I have a way that I look here?
You're probably gonna have to tilt it like
a little bit.
this
Okay.
much left.
Okay, there we go. Okay, now. So we're at 24, okay.
It does get up to 25 on that.
Well, I went a little higher, probably would have gone up.
And then if you'd like to drive through the water, you can take the right.
Oh, come on now. That's not water. Somebody spit there.
I was referring to the water for the puddles.
Somebody took a leak there is what that was.
And then just the left of the two pits.
So you don't really use the right pit, you said?
No. And one of the main reasons is at the end of the year we have to clean them out.
Oh.
So we only have to
Clean one, yeah, okay. So is this season dependent that you just kind of shut down during the winter, or do you do any?
We'll do Jeep trips all year.
Okay.
It does not matter the weather. The only thing that we will shut down is like the hills of the training course, because those get icy.
Right.
And then no vehicle does well on ice.
No,
you know?
no matter how many wheel drive you have.
Yeah. So it's just better just to close that, be safe, and then just still head out to the trails.
All right, Froggy, I see you. Move. Move. Well, I figured you'll know your way.
The frogs here are resilient. In my almost 6.5 years of being an instructor, they've been there every single year around this time.
Well, you're probably a grandfather to them, to a lot of those frogs by now. Okay, now what? Back over?
It was almost easier if we just go through the hills again.
Okay.
If you'd like to do
Yeah,
that.
that's fine. I have no problem with that. You know, are all of your Jeeps equipped the exact same way? I see it looks like you have a lot of aftermarket parts on the with the Fox and all the under guards in the rear and things like that.
So yes and no. The Fox actually comes from the dealer.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily count that as like our aftermarket parts because we asked the dealer to put it on for us. The steel fenders, some Jeeps are different than others. The main reason is when we first got it was during COVID, so it was hard to get all of the same parts for 6 Jeeps. But we had to do that because...
So these are 21 models or 20 models?
This is a 22.
22, okay.
Yeah, all of the ones that we're using currently are 22s, and we have 2 2019s that are being traded in.
Because nobody in the staff wants to buy them because they know how they're abused they are.
No.
No.
Spent too much time in those Jeeps to want to ever take it home.
All right, so we're 20. There we got 25. That's what I wanted. There, yeah. I know if I went a little higher, I could get 25. Now, how long has this off-road program been in operation?
20 years?
I want to say so, yeah.
Okay, so we're down in 4-low, going to go into drive. We're good, okay. Nobody's coming.
And it's not all going to be a gravel trail like this.
Okay, yeah, I figured this was just this, to make it look like...
The main reason for it is because we got complaints of too much mud getting onto the road. So the gravel.
What about in the pretty Jeeps? There's mud all over in the Jeeps, or did you come in and spray that? So
not intentional. It just kind of happens. A lot of people like to go through the puddles with the windows down.
Oh yeah.
For some reason.
Okay.
This first left. Now when we go over this, it's going to be like a mound, like the first hill in the training course.
Right.
And then once you get onto the other side, it's going to be a puddle with some rocks in it.
Here's our power up all the way.
And then a little bit of braking on the back side. Your left's going to dip a little bit.
Now you don't have to come and clean this out, do you?
No.
And the frogs out here probably are horny toads or something. They're probably pretty tough.
And then we're just going to follow this up and to the left. There's one of those frogs.
Yeah.
I always explain these Jeeps like, you just look ahead of the trail and kind of memorize what it is, because once it gets close, you can't see it.
Right.
So you just have to memorize and get used to
Well, it's just like driving on the
distances.
highway too. I mean, you know, don't look, you know, at the car length in front of you. Look, you know, 5 or 6 car lengths ahead, so you know what it is, because that's going to go away.
And just a heads up, almost all of the puddles out here do have rocks in them.
Right. Well, I would think so. You know, we are out in the wilds.
But for some reason,
somebody jumped out of that puddle.
Yeah.
That red Jeep's coming through again. I got to get out of here.
And then that big rock on the left, if you want to put your front left tire right over it, you can do that. Really, none of the rocks in this section are any concern to this Jeep.
And then shoot for this one over here.
Yep, you can go right over it. And then, while we're out here, what kind of trails are you looking for? Do you want more puddles? You want more rocks? A mixture?
This is great.
Okay. The summer months,
this guy?
you can go right over this one.
Okay, but I mean, I was just trying to figure where did I put my... I'm going to put my tire right in the middle of it. So, you know, this is just another great way for young people to learn to be better drivers.
Yeah.
And, you know, not everybody's going to do that, you know, but, you know, the ones that are going to do it. You know, and hopefully, you know, and be respectful of the environment too, which it looks like you guys are trying to do a really good job of being good stewards of the earth. because of your good care of your grand frogs.
Yes. Ethan's raised a few of them.
Yes.
Gotta keep them coming back.
Well, the
Without
problem
them,
is,
I don't know what I'd do.
The problem is, he keeps trying to kiss them and see if there's going to be a princess there.
Fingers crossed. I still haven't seen it yet,
Yeah.
but one of these days. No, it is nice out here. Everything that we do is in an effort to try and keep everything as natural as possible. So when you come out here, it's
Now,
one of my favorite places, virtually untouched by any sort of construction.
Now, do you have like days where you come out and clean the trails or anything?
Yep. We just call it trail maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
If you can here,
Okay.
we're gonna make a sharp right-hand
Okay.
turn. It might do a
A 3
like
point.
a 3-point.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Go a little further, a little further, a little further.
Okay, and then we go into a reverse. Thank God for the camera. There we are. We can make sure there's no
I
clip.
do
there.
appreciate that camera a lot.
Well, this looks like the trail very rarely traveled.
It's actually gonna say it's been I think the last time I was down here was when you pulled me out.
Uh-oh.
That's true. That's why we avoided that puddle down there. We'll take a left here.
Okay, yeah,
Once
good.
you go over this brush, it turns into a more
Okay,
open
this
trail.
is great because you don't know which way to go, but it looks like if you look over the brush, you see, and there it looks like there's a little bit of a rut there. There's ruts over there.
To the right's where we had to push ourselves out.
So how many in your team? Oh, look at this, we're crabbing. I love that. That's the nice thing about the Hummer is it crabs. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So how many are in your team that use?
Let's take a right here. That's a. Some of our drivers are like part-time, so they're
Okay.
not here
Right.
as consistent. But
Well, you do have a sign there. What does it say, badass?
Deer Pass.
Oh.
Close. Let's count. So, us two. I'm just gonna go with the people who are here the most often.
Oh, hello, froggies.
Jake Shiley, Jake Murray.
Jake 1, Jake 2?
Yes.
Big Jake, little Jake, old Jake,
Pretty
young
much,
Jake?
yeah. You
Yeah,
got
they
big
are.
Jake, little
Yeah.
Jake. Right.
One's like a big time gym goer.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
he's Muscle Jake.
Mm-hmm.
So have you had any breakdowns on the trail out here in the middle of nowhere? And,
It does
either
happen.
mechanical issues caused by just, the pixies out in the woods or assholeness behind the wheel?
It's more bad drivers. Like, actually, perfect timing for this. Right over this mound,
Yeah.
there used to be like a big like circular rock
Mm-hmm.
in the rut. But I was like, please slow down, please slow down, please slow down.
Oh, no, I can do that.
And then went over this mound, hit that big rock with the front left tire.
Boom!
Tie rod just went. So we had one wheel of steering to get the rest of the way back.
Or the
And the other wheel was just kind of...
Yes, this puddle's a little rough. And then
The-
once
Where was this round rock? Right here in the center?
I rolled
Right.
it over there, but
Okay.
it was right here. It
Oh,
might be-
it could be that rock there. Yeah, I do. There's a rock there, right over that.
And a fun thing that I like to do on this rock, do you see that like flat rock
Yeah.
that goes across? I like to put my right tires up on it, and my
Okay.
left tires close to on it, but not on it.
Okay, so you want me to kind of put my left tire right through that little roll, that little space.
Yep. And then just go real easy.
Okay.
Maybe a touch from the left.
There we
Real easy. And it gets a good angle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Clunk, clunk, slump, slump.
If you hit it just right, you can get to 25 on the roll, which is the same as the training course.
So my theory is on this
Let's
is
hear it
kind
out.
of right tire sort of just on the inside. We don't want to go into that crack.
Okay.
Right tire, left tire, and then just because I don't see what's on the other side, just be really careful as we go down. Is that correct? Because I would think if you went that way, you'd be too close to the tree.
Yeah, that's
my thoughts.
It's pretty much correct. How I explain people to go over this is put the right tire in the middle of this middle rock.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
not the side rock, because
it's
get
too
stuck
far
in it.
over.
You're gonna get your rim ruined on that.
And these rocks don't look very high, but they actually
oh yeah, no, they look
are
high.
like kind of at our clearance. So even if you go a little bit too fast over it,
Yeah, you're gonna
the suspension compression will touch it.
You're gonna bottom out.
So real nice and easy over this rock. You did it. Right there is usually where people will just go right off. But you did well.
Okay, we climb down off that one, then head over to these guys here.
We're gonna drive it up onto this rock to really show how much the front end can flex and what it can go over.
Okay, which one of you is going to do that?
I can drive it up on.
So this process here is a pretty cool one to watch. You get to see all of the articulation and those moving pieces in the vehicle as Ben takes it up on the rock there. And this is going to be the one spot while we're out in this trip that we actually utilize the axle lock, so our Jeep kind of hits that true four-wheel drive point with all four tires making the same rotation at the same time. And one of the few spots out in our trails today where, if done right, we actually get one of our tires off the ground and we'll only have 3 points of contact today. Accommodate, and if you look underneath of the Jeep, you can see those weird angles of the axles and that back right tire up off the ground, with us only having 3 points of contact.
Let's see how muddy those tires are.
Once you get it up to this rough, you can tell we really want to showcase everything the Jeep does. It's definitely no walk in the park or a drive through a grassy field. We definitely do take you off-road and give you the full experience with it.
While these off-road trails may not be as intense as you might find in other off-road parks, there are plenty of rocks to climb over, puddles to ford, and fun to be had at the Nemacolin Woodlands Resort off-road course. I want to thank Ethan and Ben for being amazing trail guides. While they appear to be young, these guys know their off-roading and the 88 miles of trails that Nemacolin has, like the back of their hands. I also want to thank Stellantis and the Jeep Corporation for loaning me this 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392 Final Edition Beast for this trip to visit Nemacolin. While I did not take it off-road, I knew it would be more than capable to do so. I hope you have liked this video, and if you have, please give us a thumbs up. And follow us for more interesting stories about cars and trucks and the automotive lifestyle. Until next time.